Hi there, this is Babsy, and today we're playing Rimworld. Thank you for joining me, and if you're returning, thank you for coming back. As you can see, if you've watched the previous episode, we are now starting with slightly different people. I may or may not have forgotten to save my file and lost everything I had started, so it's just the name of the game, I guess. So we're starting today with Anna, a healer. She's very good in medicine. I tried to pick people somewhat similar to what I last had in the same area. So again, a healer. She has really high social as well. She's a wandering healer. She studied to be a doctor, but was dissatisfied with her practice on an otherwise peaceful midworld. Instead, she chose to pull up roots and travel to the Rimworld in order to care for people who needed her most. As an aside note, from what I understand, a lot of the colonists come from a well-to-do planet, and there's not a whole lot of injury or warfare or anything like that, so oftentimes surgeons don't actually perform surgeries and things like that. It's an interesting concept. Next we have Pablo. He is our researcher. He's a technology doctor, as they call him. He's also very good in construction, and one of the main reasons I picked this guy is he has a very high passion in shooting and melee. Now, we didn't get into this last time, but passion is really important in this game. It's how quickly your colonist will learn new skills. So the more passion you have, in this case 2 fires of passion, burning passion, makes you learn this skill at 150% rate compared to if you weren't passionate and you were learning it at not even 100% rate. With just regular passion, you learn things at 100% rate, so I can only assume that with no passion, you learn at a 50% rate. In any case, Pablo is a technology doctor. He performed research into propulsive fuels and energy generation. He loved technology research and hoped to improve human life by doing it. He is incapable of caring, so again, doctoring, socializing, and he's incapable of art. Now, just because he's incapable of socializing does not mean he cannot socialize with other colonists. It's negotiating, convincing, manipulating, leading, and cheering up others. So I assume this is a little further into the game than I've ever gotten. He's a hard worker, so he will do tasks faster than most, and he's neurotic, so he will again do tasks faster than most. I'm pretty excited to see how this works. Finally, we have Christy. She is our animal specialist, just like our old Gil, I believe was his name, our veterinarian. This one's a message carrier. On a medieval world, the fastest way to send a message is to give it to somebody on a horse and hope that they survive the journey. Christy was that somebody. That's an interesting backstory, honestly, a new one for me. She's incapable of researching and of socializing, so we have some pretty antisocial bunch, but the one person who can socialize is very good at it, so I'm pretty pleased. So I've scouted out this map a little bit. It's pretty similar to our last map. Again, I tried to pick a similar area, year-round growing season, and mostly hilly. And I was looking around, and I decided the best place for us to start our new colony is right down here. So as you can see, I've already got us cutting down the grass here. We'll start the game and let them get on their way and build up our little home. So as you can see in the right-hand side, they pop up with notifications. This lets you know kind of the most important things going on in your colony at this time. It's really important to listen to what pops up here because any and everything that happens is displayed here. Another thing I need to do is create a stockpile zone, as mentioned in the last episode. And I think we're going to place it just along here. Oh, look at that. I'm a genius. I think so far ahead. So as you can see, this is a geyser. You cannot build on top of it, for obvious reasons. So we're just going to build this one spot further back than we expected. And with the geysers, you can actually use them to heat up your room. Although you don't want to be in the same room it's in, you can use it to heat your house by having like a heat room of sorts. I won't need it in this file as it's going to remain quite nice year round, but it's good to know. Alright, so let's see. Right now, we have one person doing constructing like last time. Surprise, surprise. So we'll get the people with a high passion to do things. I think that's probably a good idea. Get their skills up nice and quick. And growing is honestly important. Well, growing is probably one of the most important aspects of this game, so I'll keep everybody on growing. If you have no food, you don't survive. Obvious. Now, of course they would put all their stuff right behind some rocks. That was smart. And as you can see this time, we started with a timber wolf rather than a husky, so let's see what we can train him to do. Perfect, exact same things. So again, we're going to try to teach him everything we can, preferably the hauling, the most important one. We'll get our settlers some houses going. Come up to here, and we're going to try to colonize everything in here. It's a pretty lofty goal, but we'll get there. So to start off, we'll make some rooms, make them nice and big for them, and we'll mine this out as we go. Let's build off of some rooms that are already here. Why not? See what's everybody doing. So right now they're mostly focusing on that. The first thing I told them to do. They tend to do things in order unless they're prioritized, which you can do under your work panel. So you can change it over to priorities, and the lower the number, the higher the priority. So priority 1, obviously the most important thing. In this case, I'm okay with them choosing what to do and doing it in order. For right now, there's nothing pressing that I need to get done right away. If they want to sleep out in the sun, then they can do that. Next, we'll be building our beds in here, which I suppose I should also put doors into their bedrooms, just maybe. Alright. Only one person on plant cutting, which, as you can see, we have a lot of plants to cut, so we should probably get a few more people on there. And one other note, as you can see, well, you might not understand what's happening here, but she's placing a roof. So as soon as you create a structure, a roof will be made. Well, they will create a roof for the structure. If there are items left on the ground that aren't under a roof, they will begin deteriorating and will destroy themselves after a period of time. At least most items will. Things like perishables, medicine, equipment, which, speaking of, I should let them know to go take their gun back to base. So obviously the storage room, as you can see go back. As you can see indoors, or you can't see indoors, but indoors it's 23 degrees, I promise you. There we go. Oh, anyways, so whenever it's 23 degrees, your food will begin to spoil. So one of my next major steps will be creating a cooler so that I can keep my food refrigerated. This will involve power, so we'll need to get electricity going soon. I'm thinking we'll go with a little bit of solar power, a little bit of wind turbine energy. So because we've started with a colony rather than a tribe, we've started with a bit of technology. We've started with electricity. Great thing to start with. So much harder to start without. And as an aside, it's quite a while ago, but I think I'd mention it anyways. As you can see over here, we've got an ancient danger pop-up. So at one point, actually right inside of my stockpile zone, we've got a building of sorts. You can even see it's got tile along here, and you can kind of see inside there. Something is in there, some ancient danger. We don't know what it is, but it gives us a sense of foreboding every time we go near it. No, I will not open the door there. Maybe next time. So, while they're doing that, I'm going to plan ahead and start building my electricity foundation, I suppose. So first we're going to put out a handful of solar generators. And on the other side, we'll have our wind turbines. Now the thing with wind turbines is that if there's trees or shrubs or things in the way, it will stop it from making as much power as it can because it's not able to get as much wind flowing through it. So it requires a lot of maintenance, as trees do grow back, obviously. The solar panels, go without saying, require solar energy to power themselves, so we'll only get power from them in the daytime. I'm just going to go around the map to find these ship chunks. So the ship chunks can be broken down or deconstructed into exactly this, steel. Steel is a major component in this game. It's used for pretty much all electrical things, a lot of higher end production type things. Pretty much anything requires steel. Or you can just make anything out of steel. Why not? Make your bed out of steel. I had a bed made out of uranium. It exploded. So, I'm not seeing a whole lot other ship chunks around. I think we might have gotten the most of them. But those will crash land on the planet from time to time, so we'll keep an eye out for them. Ooh, we got somebody burning the midnight oil. Christie's running around still. And by running, I mean walking very, very slowly. So, as you can see, they did not finish their beds in time, so they are sleeping on the floor. I fully, heartedly blame them, not me. That is their choice. Another thing we're going to do, something I would like to actually achieve for the first time, is to make a bedroom that is not hideous. So every single time I've played Rimworld, I've never succeeded in making a bedroom that my colonists have enjoyed. And I'm honestly not sure why. So we're going to try to decorate these as best as possible in this file. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put flooring down, because who wants to walk around in mud? Now, as I had mentioned, one of the most important parts of this game is growing food, or growing pretty much everything you could ever need. So we're going to start planting our crops, I suppose. And I think I'm going to keep some of it around here, because this is some fertile soil here. We've got some over here as well. The darker patches are usually fertile soil, and then we've got some mud over to this side. Not sure how fertile that is. Doesn't really say. Oh, I'm assuming you can't really plant in it. Maybe that's what it is. So as you can see in the bottom corner here, the left-hand corner, it'll tell you some details about the panel that you're currently looking at. In this case, there's an oak tree on the panel, 73% grown. Its soil tells you how fast your colonists will walk on it, assuming they're walking at 100% speed, and the fertility of the ground. The more fertile, the better. Obviously, the faster your plants will grow, which is sometimes a matter of life and death. Dark, meaning how dark or light it is. So once the sun comes up, you'll see it'll say lit. So, back to the original plan of where we're going to plant things. Did I put a door down? Okay. I would not be surprised if I built a wall with no door. So first things first is we're going to take advantage of this fertile soil. And we're going to take advantage of it with a crop that takes forever to grow, which is corn. So once you've decided on your crop, you can actually click the eye icon next to it, and it'll bring up information on it. This is actually same for most of the things in the game. There is so much detail that you can read about everything. It is unruly. I can't begin to describe it. So, as you can see, it is a large green plant which grows ears of delicious yellow seeds, takes a relatively long time to grow but yields lots of food and takes a long time to spoil. It needs fertile soil to grow well. So again, it will not grow quickly if you plant it in normal soil. It's a finicky plant, but it's very useful. It does produce a lot of food compared to, let's say, rice. And speaking of rice, let's make a patch for that. So pretty much the rest of my crops, I'm not going to be too picky on where I plant them, as long as they're relatively close by. We want to make sure that we have big zones for our food crops. So this is going to be our potatoes. And over here we'll have our rice. I don't remember, what level is our gardening on our best person? I probably should have paid more attention to that one. We've got nobody with the growing skill. We've got level 1 on Christy, so I suppose she's going to be our go-to for growing. And nobody has passion in it. So that's going to be really unfortunate going forward. I probably should have paid better attention to that, but we'll see how it goes. So the thing with higher growing skill is whenever you have higher skill, you begin to be able to unlock new plants to grow. More efficient or tasty, or in some cases just a complete different use than food. We've got smoke leaf, which we'll just let you see for yourself. A leafy plant cultivated for its psychological effects. Smoke leaf leaves can be prepared into joints at a crafting spot. I think you can kind of come to your own conclusions about what that is. Next we've got the psychoid plant, which it can be used to form various types of psychoid drug. There's the hop plant, hops for beer, and heel root, a herbal medicine that you can create, and honestly it's pretty useful. You run out of medicine very quickly if you're me. So it's always nice to have extra medicine that you can grow rather than having to buy it or further down creating it. So I guess since we can't really plant anything else, as we do not have the skill for it, I'm going to grow some cotton. Cotton's honestly not going to be super important for this file due to the fact that it's going to be warm year-round. But if we ever get any colonists or prisoners who come and they're lacking in the clothing department, we can give them a hand. Alright. So let's see if we can get even just our house set up today. At least get a little bit further than we did in the last episode. That would be nice. Now, as you've probably noticed, there are multiple animals wandering around. Most of them are relatively docile. You know, emus probably aren't going to attack me. Raccoons, pretty safe around. In fact, most animals won't bother you. But if certain animals get hungry, they won't hesitate to attack a human, and it can get pretty gruesome pretty quickly. So, speaking of, oh, I just heard something squeal, but looks like everything's okay. Oh, no, there it is. So as you'll see, the animals actually interact with their environment, so whenever they get hungry, they will hunt or eat food, whatever it is that they eat. So you will frequently find animals that will be hunting down rabbits, rats themselves, raccoons, smaller vermin, which you can then salvage and take home yourself if you're lazy and don't have any food. Alright, so for some reason they prioritized the wind turbines, but that's cool. I'm glad that we have them. It's always good to start. And beside them we're going to build a couple of batteries. Now the batteries I'm going to need to build a roof over, which you can actually set a specific roof zone. So as you can see, it automatically sets a roof zone whenever you've built a structure, like a full 4-walled structure. But you can also just place roofs in certain places. I'm not sure the exact squares that you can, the exact number of squares you can go, but there's only so much support a wall can give before you're going too far and the ceiling will collapse, sometimes crushing your colonists and not ending in a pretty way. As you can see, a lot of things can go wrong with this game. So here's hoping they focus on their beds. As you can see just there, you can actually prioritize things. So you can right-click on something that you're going to do and tell them to work on it right now. They won't always fully listen to you. They might do it for a couple seconds and then walk away, such as this. But for the most part, they'll listen to you. And there we go. Now he's building his wooden bed. So now we can force them into building the things that they actually need rather than the things that I want them to build. Alright. So where do we have Pablo going now? He's grabbing some more wood. You're gonna bring it... Oh, you're not gonna bring it. So as you can see, we've run out of wood. There's no cut down wood right now. They've taken all of the wood to build this one room. I am sorely disappointed in you. Alright, people. Go cut down some more trees. Here, Christy. You're gonna cut down some trees. Anna's getting food, so I'm not gonna stop her from doing that. I'm not sure what she's doing, why she's just randomly cutting down raspberry bushes that aren't even technically supposed to be cut down, but we'll roll with that. Alright, we're just gonna speed this up a bit while we try to make this process go a little bit quicker. Hopefully we can get those beds built soon. She's taking those resources too quickly for me to stop her. Looks like you'll have one bed tonight. So you're just not listening to me. So one thing that I haven't really brought up yet, I probably should have, is the needs section. So all the characters have this. Even animals do, but theirs is very basic. They have a food and a rest need. Meanwhile, as you're about to see, humans have a lot more. Almost gives you a Sims feeling. So they have a food and a rest, so hunger and tiredness. A joy meter. They need some way to have joy, whether it's going for walks, meditating, or you give them a billiards table. The beauty of the environment they're in, which is the one I find the hardest to bring up. There is comfort, so are they sitting or laying down on something comfortable? The space that they're in, whether or not it's a spacious environment. And of course you have your moodlets of sorts. I call them moodlets because I'm familiar with Sims. If you have a different word for them, please let me know. So as you can see, you have negatives and you have positives. This will very quickly get out of hand with the negatives, I can almost guarantee it. But for now, let's enjoy the fact that we're about half and half. So as you can see, this colonist has very low expectations. They really don't mind. They have new colony optimism, so it's new hope. We're somewhere. We're figuring this out. So that's cool. They have tons of joy. I don't know. Oh, is this? Yes, this girl loves construction, so whenever she's building things, she gets joy. That's a huge bonus. Feeling great just means their general mood. So whenever their mood is high, they'll get higher mood points. So it's almost like a snowball effect in the positive way. Also goes in the negative way. So for her negatives, she's in darkness, and that makes everybody unhappy. She ate without a table. She's uncomfortable, so she's not laying down or sitting or doing anything. And apparently she's a pessimist. Oh, look at that. She is too. So she's a pessimist and a slowpoke. I don't think we went over that with her. So she's a little bit slower, and she's constantly unhappy with life. But that's okay. We'll work with it. Alright, so I guess that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully you'll come back for the next episodes of this series. This is Babsy, signing off.